Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and this could be considered to be the next installment of the Dr. Boyce Watkins Show. In case you haven't subscribed on your phone, you can just subscribe by texting the word Boyce to 31996. That's text the word Boyce to 31996, and you'll be in. We're trying a different kind of distribution process for the show, where we're going to the cell phones in case we have some stuff that we want to get out to you fast. And a lot of people have subscribed very quickly, so that tells me that we must be doing something right. Now, here's what I wanted to kind of jump into. I want to jump into this whole issue with Donald Trump and the black pastors, and just how to kind of look at all this. Um, I saw the reports and the press conference and everything else with Trump, where he met with these African American pastors, some of whom were strong supporters of Trump, and it was interesting. I can't say that I would be a supporter of Trump. Um, I don't I don't really like the guy as a person. I think he has accomplished some things. I mean, you can't take that away from him, and you know how I feel about the Democratic Party. But obviously, Trump is a little bit too abrasive, I think, for the presidency. I think the presidency requires a certain kind of delicacy or delicate nature in terms of how you deal with the rest of the world. You can't sort of go through the world with an arrogant sledgehammer and expect good things to happen. Although he would be very consistent with the arrogance that America has shown throughout history. That's one of the reasons why we've got people around the world that want to hurt us, is that we have politicians who have never shown any respect for humanity. We go around the world with blowing up daycare centers and terrorizing people, occupying nations without any just cause. And there are people who are sick of it. So American foreign policy has been an absolute mess even before Donald Trump. Um, and the other thing, that I want to jump into for a second is, as we're bashing black pastors for meeting with Donald Trump, let's be really careful about that, though. This idea that says that if you even listen to get firsthand information, that even if you even have a meeting with somebody to even hear what they have to say, that we're gonna crush you so bad that you'll be afraid to have another meeting again. You'll be afraid to get firsthand information ever again. If you don't get your information from the media like the rest of us, which we know the media is full of shit, we know the media lies. If you don't get your information from the lying media like the rest of us, then we're gonna chop your head off before before you even get a chance to even try to find out the truth. I'm not big on that. I'm not big on that. And in my opinion, is that if you're gonna bash Trump or people for meeting with Trump, then we need to bash people for meeting with Hillary Clinton. I mean, Hillary Clinton and her husband have put more black people in prison than Trump ever could. We've had a black president since 2008, and life in the black community has not gotten better. It's actually gotten worse. Now, some people would say, "Oh, well, the president can't do anything about what happens in the black community." Okay, fine. If that's how you feel, then who cares who the president is? Who cares if it's Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? I mean, either way, black people are going to suffer. So I don't really understand this whole outrage per se over meeting with Donald Trump. I mean, people can feel how they're going to feel. I'm not saying that you're stupid for feeling that way, but I'm just encouraging you to think a little bit. When we get to the point where we have a country where people are encouraged to not even listen to other points of view, to not even try to hear, to not even try to get the facts for themselves, that's not very good for any kind of democracy. That's really kind of a form of social bullying or fascism or McCarthyism, just this very nasty way of shutting things down before the conversation even starts. So when you're shutting down any dialogue to hear what anybody else has to say other than your Democratic pimp, then what you're doing is you're giving that much more power to your pimp. The Democrats have successfully convinced you that not only should you show up and line up like sheep and vote for them, even though they ain't doing nothing for your black ass, haven't done hardly anything for you, then not only will you show up and vote for them in droves, but you won't even hear other points of view. You won't even let other people entertain the possibility of trying to earn your vote by doing something different. I will say this: I'm not a conservative or liberal. I don't get into that stuff. I'm just black. But I can tell you this: I know a lot of people who support conservatives who are not dumb people. This whole idea that you're dumb if you're not democratic. I think you got to get past all that. I used to think that way back when I was, when I first started writing. When I was about 26, 25. Um, I used to think black Republicans were all, coons and sellouts, and that the Democratic Party was the answer for black people. The Democratic Party ain't no answer for black people. But we know the Republicans fall even shorter than the Democrats. But let's stop getting all caught up in this gang warfare, this politicalized gang warfare between the white liberals and the white conservatives, where they're using you as a pawn to achieve their agenda. Let's get out of that stuff and focus on our community. If I was in that political space, here's what I would do. I would meet with everybody, and I would say, this is what my community needs. What are you going to do to deliver that? Now, here's the problem: politicians lie. Obama told a whole bunch of stories, great stories that sounded good before he got elected, and then didn't follow through on a lot of that stuff, on most of it. The same thing would be true for a Republican. So these politicians lie, which is one of the reasons I don't meet with politicians. You really don't see that many examples of me talking to anybody that's political. I used to talk to when Obama first got elected. I used to talk to the Obama White House every now and then. They had one little guy who would run around and chase down any of the quote unquote influencers in the black community. So I guess I was in that category. So he chased me down, and he got me on the phone, and I really thought we were having a dialogue. Hey, what does the black community need? Let's talk about that. It wasn't a dialogue. It was pretty much a monologue where he sort of got on the phone, wasted an hour of my time, rambling on and on about how this policy over here helps black people, even though it ain't got nothing to do with black people. I mean, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean black people can't coincidentally benefit from a broader policy. But I said, no, brother, we need specific targeted policies for the black community. The black community, if you think of the economy as a human body, and the black community as, say, the heart or the kidneys, you can't sort of say, well, we're going to fix the kidneys by giving you a vitamin that's going to help the whole body, and then it'll help the kidneys too naturally because you'll have vitamins in your body. No, no, you need surgery on the kidney. That's what you need to do. So that's what I told him. I said, we need surgery on the kidney. We don't need you running around here talking about, oh, we're helping the gay community. Oh, well, some black people are gay too. Or we're helping, we're reforming, healthcare, and black people need healthcare too. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna say those policies are bad. I'm not gonna say anything about that. But at the end of the day, my question is, where's the targeted policy? You can't go to other communities and tell them, oh, well, we did this other thing that doesn't have anything to do with you on the surface, but some of your people are in this group. A few of your people are in this group. So you shouldn't say anything. You shouldn't want anything. The Hispanic community doesn't go for that. The gay community doesn't go for that. Women's rights groups don't go for that. Women's rights groups want your help. Want they demand democratic support on issues like reproductive choice and equal pay issues, things like that. So at the end of the day, we got to become more politically sophisticated and stop shouting down people who have ideas that we're not used to. You can't cheer when Hillary Clinton comes to your church, and then boo when a Republican comes to your church, because they're all a bunch of Harvard and Yale graduates who are seeking to control power in this country. That's pretty much what they all are. They all come from the same freaking pot. So, that's my take on the black pastor thing. I'm not gonna say people can't feel how they want to feel. I'm not saying you're wrong if you feel this way, but I'm encouraging you to consider an alternative point of view, one that just says, you know what, lay all the ideas on the table. My community's suffering. I want to hear from anybody, anywhere, who has a proposal on what can help the black community. And that might be, and if the Democrats don't like you listening to other people, and they try to pimp and control you and convince you that you shouldn't listen to other points of view, then you should tell them, okay, well, you come with a better proposal. Show me what you can do for my community. Give me something that you can do other than what Bill Clinton did, which was to ruin welfare reform, which hurt a lot of poor black families, and to also put more black men in prison than pretty much any president that I know of. I believe any president in American history. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help my community when you're putting fathers in prison and now you got little kids running around here with AK-47s because they don't have any parents. That does not make my community safer. Maybe instead of sending black men to prison, maybe you should try to help black men get jobs so they don't end up in prison. Maybe that would be a better policy. So anyway, I'm gonna stop. I'm done. I just wanted to kind of chime in on this whole thing about Trump in the past. I think I had people that were mad at me and saying, "Can you believe these coons met with Donald Trump?" And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't care about that. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, we've had the best the Democratic Party can offer, and nothing has improved in the black community. So again, those who might defend this and say it's no big deal would say, well, no, it's not. It's not the president's job to save the black community, and it's not Obama's fault. He couldn't do anything to help the black community. If he can't do anything to help the black community, then why get up and vote? Why do you care? Who cares? Because we're at rock bottom, people. We can't the situation in our community, economically at least, and to some extent socially and politically, cannot get much worse. So putting a Donald Trump in office is not going to make things much worse. At best, or it might actually wake your ass up and let you realize that none of these folks up in Washington give a damn about you and force you to buckle down and do things for yourself. If that's what having a Republican in office does, is mobilize the community and helps us identify clearly who our enemy is, then I'm all for that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the idea of us mobilizing against the common enemy by knowing that the people in the White House are not supporting us, as opposed to thinking that they're supporting us when they're not. Because when you think somebody's your ally and they're actually your enemy, then that leads you to lower your guard. You let your guard down at that point because you're thinking that these people are really helping you out when they're sitting there laughing at you because they know that they shut your brain down so much that you're not even going to consider alternative proposals. You're like the woman dating the abusive boyfriend who won't even consider the idea of dating another man. You're so loyal to that man, even though he comes in the house every day and punches you in the face, ignores you, and cheats on you, but yet you're still so loyal to him. Why? Because he's got your mind trapped in a box. He's got you so trapped mentally and psychologically that you don't believe you can do any better. And when other men walk up with flowers and try to get your attention, you ignore all of them because you are so in love with your man. That's what the black community is with the Democratic Party, and that is what I reject. You shouldn't be loyal to somebody who's not loyal to you. That's self-esteem 101, period. Well, that's it. I'm done. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe to the Dr. Boyce Watkins Show, text the word Boyce to 31996. Let's text the word Boyce to 31996, and you'll be in. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.